Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for everybody hopping on during your, I guess it's everybody's lunch break, right? And thank you so much for Natasha for inviting me and everybody putting this together. These lunch and learns have been so inspiring, and I'm so grateful that they asked me to join. And I have to admit, I was super conflicted on what to talk about, and I literally decided like 15 minutes ago because I had so many ideas. But let me introduce myself a little bit. My name is Jennifer Welshans. I am from Central Pennsylvania, and I started Thriving about 3.5 years ago. And it's just been a wild ride ever since. I was a full-time hairstylist when I got started. I have 3 little kids, and I was able 1 year in, 2 years ago, I was able to walk away from my day job and do this full time. And I had the amazing privilege of hitting the millionaire status with Lavelle back in December. So I'm super excited. I love this industry. I love this company. I'm excited to be here. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is DMOs. What do you do every day to grow your business? And I coach my team that it doesn't really have to take a lot of time. It just needs to, the chat is just like distracting me because I want to read everybody's comments. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. It just has to be purposeful time. And when I got started, like I said, I was doing hair full time. I was working 12 hours a day behind the chair. I owned 3 salons at the time. I had 3 little kids, and I did not want another business. I did not want one more thing to add to my plate. I was very ignorant when it came to network marketing. And I was just like, I'm not going to do this. I found this product because I was a tired, exhausted, and worn out busy mama, just living on crazy amounts of caffeinated beverages that were probably killing me. And I loved the way I felt, but I was not looking for another business. At the time, when my mentor at the time, she had said to me, you could get this product for free after I fell in love with it. And I said, okay, I knew 2 tired, exhausted, and worn out busy mama friends that needed this product in their life. When I found those people, she says, why don't you hit the promoter button? And I'm like, no, I already said, I'm not selling this. I don't want another business. I don't want one more thing added to my plate. And what she said to me was, well, if you're going to get your 2 referrals, you may as well hit the promoter button, and not only can get your product for free, but you can earn a little extra money. And she's like, just, turn it into credits and get an extra box of shakes or something every month. So I was entrepreneurial enough at that time to be like, okay, I guess I can do that. And I did. And I just went about my day. And then all of a sudden, the company dropped $1,000 into my bank account. I hit VIP 1600, didn't even really know that that's what happened. But I even called her and I'm like, I think there was a mistake. I think somebody made a mistake somewhere because I don't know what just happened here. And she's like, well, you hit the fast start bonuses. Congratulations. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Because literally that was the simplest and easiest $1,000 I've ever made in my entire life. And she's like, yeah, that's what happened. And I caught the bug really, really, really early on what this could do for my family. So, but then I had a challenge, and that is where I didn't know how to incorporate it into my day. I didn't know how to do something else because, like I said, I was doing hair 12 hours a day, and I was managing 3 salons, and I just didn't know how to do that. So I became the queen of I don't want to say manipulating my day, but definitely manipulating my time and getting super, super focused. I learned how to calendar block. I learned how to like really make good use of the nooks and crannies of my day. And my husband will still tell this story about, and I still do this, and I'm sure many of you do this, but I will still take the phone to the bathroom with me because I know in the 3 minutes it takes me to use the restroom, I could probably send a few messages. So I became really, really, really good at that. And I think that that is so important to be able to share with other people, especially people that aren't at the place where they can do this full time. They need to figure out how to be focused with their time, realize where they're probably losing time, like when they watch Netflix for hours on end, and know how to use those nooks and crannies of your day effectively. So how I coach my team is I have a list of DMOs that so I coach them. You find your non-negotiables and then you find your DMO list. So I was going to share with you today my non-negotiable DMOs, things I have to get done every day that I don't go to bed until they get done, and share with you why I think they're important to do every day. So if you want to grab a pen and paper, you probably want to take some notes because this is so effective. It's so, so effective. So DMOs, daily method of operation, if you've never heard that, like, what, I don't even know what that is, an acronym, whatever. I could be wrong. But it's literally the things you do, the money-making tasks you do every day that are important to your business. And it's really important that you super focus with your time. And what I also coach is set a time limit. And I know that there's been other coaches on the Lunch and Learn that have talked about setting a time frame and calendar blocking and stuff like that, but you don't understand how really, really, really important it is. I have figured out I can do all of my DMOs in about 4 hours, and I have gangster reach out goals. So it's crazy how quickly you can get this stuff done if it's uninterrupted focus time. So one of the tips that I teach and I do every morning is I make my list of my DMOs and then I assign a time frame to them. So like, for instance, gratitude. I'm a big believer in self-development gratitude. I'm a big believer in your paycheck will never outgrow your mind. I am a big believer in the fact that this kind of industry is literally self-development with a paycheck. You have to be able to self-develop yourself and you have to be able to coach that to your team, because I'm a big believer in so much of what holds us back from being successful in this business has to do with our self-worth, has to do with our upper limit, has to do with our self-confidence. And if you don't tackle that part on a daily basis, your mindset's not going to be right. You're not going to be able to talk to people with confidence about your product and be able to field objections properly. None of that will happen. So self-development and gratitude, I think, go hand in hand, even though they're two different parts. So for self-development, I'm a big Audible user. So I will listen to Audible when I'm in my car, every time I'm in my car. If I'm standing in my kitchen, whether I'm like filling the dishwasher or cooking dinner, which I don't do a lot of, I have to give my husband props. He cooks dinner most nights. But if I'm standing in my kitchen, I'm listening to something on Audible. If I'm driving in my car, I'm listening to something on Audible. When I'm putting my makeup on in the morning, I'm listening to something on Audible. So Audible's really, really, really a big part of my life. But I also make time for 30 minutes of actually picking up a book and reading. You will get a different experience out of doing that, because here's the thing with Audible, although I can blow through books like crazy, you're also focused on other things. So your brain is kind of like moving in two different directions. So actually picking up a book and reading for 30 minutes is part of my DMO. It's just something I have to do every day. And a lot of times I have two to three different things going on. I'm listening to Audible with one book and I'm reading something else. So it's so, so, so important. And if I have a teammate or someone in my organization that calls me or messages me that I'm stuck, I can't get customers, I can't do this, I can't do that, anything that comes out of their mouth with I can't, that's the first thing I do is, what are you reading? What are you doing for self-development? Because we need to do that. I can't post. Even if you can't figure out what to post, a lot of times you just need to do self-development because that's going to give you some ideas. So 30 minutes a day for that. Gratitude. I take 10 minutes and I have, like I said, I'm going to tell you how I have time assignments. I take 10 minutes every day and practice gratitude. Gratitude is so important. It's magical. That's all I need to say. It is downright magical, not only to be thankful for what you have in your life, but to practice that law of attraction and be thankful for the things that you want to come into your life. So gratitude is really, really powerful, and it's so important. It's definitely part of my DMOs. The next thing is putting your product on your story. Now, one of the things I was going to go into was social media marketing today, but I think that's another day, another lesson. But it is so important to not forget about your story, like Instagram story, your Facebook story. I'm sorry if somebody doesn't know what I'm talking about, but putting your product up there every day. It is something I do every single morning. If you follow me on social media, you're going to see I put my capsules in, at least my capsules, if not my capsules and my shake up every morning. I want my audience to know that I take my products every single day. So making sure, and I'm a big believer, and you're going to catch two different types of audiences. There are people out there that, sorry, my notes, I just flung them. There are people out there that watch the story and not the feed, and vice versa. So you want to make sure you're hitting both targets. I am not a big believer in posting about your product every day on your actual timeline, but your story, definitely consistently doing that every day. Another thing that takes 5 minutes. Seriously, snap a picture of your hand with your capsules or something and throw it up there with a cute filter or a cute little sticker or whatever. It doesn't take a long time at all. Another thing that I feel is super important is an opportunity story, an opportunity, like an unfolding. Like if you go to my Facebook or Instagram, you're going to see most days I try to put up something that talks about the opportunity. I put one up this morning. If you want to go check it out, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it literally is like 3, 4, I try to keep it under, I don't know, under 6 or 7 cells, because I think people just get bored, but it unfolds and it talks about the opportunity. I will tell you, of probably 90% of the promoters that I have enrolled this year came from those opportunity stories, because they actually watch them, and I change them up. Every day I use a different one, but I will repurpose them. So make sure when you create them to save them, because I will throw the same ones up over and over and over again. I coach my team to make like 10 and then repurpose them, but I probably have 20 to 25 different ones that I use. So an opportunity story. The next thing that I think is super important are reach outs. And I have gangster goals for reach outs. My reach out goal is 120 reach outs a day. When I'm running for re-rank bonuses, if you ever know what those are, it ups to 2 to 250. But reach outs are so important. And I'm not talking about a cold reach out. I'm talking about, let's just say hi to your people. You can send direct messages, and we do run these campaigns with our team that we do coach to send direct messages, but I will never coach to send a cold message. I'll never coach to send a message that has your link in it that's assuming the sale. In my opinion, that's a cold message, a message where you're sending your link assuming somebody wants to buy. Okay, I coach my team to do reach outs, whether it's just to say hello, or sometimes we do campaigns where we'll run through our list with a direct message, asking them if they're open to taking a look at what we do from home for extra money. I think that's perfectly fine. I'm also a big believer that if you are not, one, asking your people if they're open to taking a look at your product or open to taking a look at your opportunity, you're not making as many sales as you could be. So I think it's really, really, really important that you incorporate reach outs. You have to be talking to people in some way every day. And the more people you talk to every day, the more successful you're going to be. I mean, for as much as we hate to say it, this game is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more sales you're going to make. So reach outs are a huge part of what I do every day. And that takes me about an hour and a half to do 120. The next thing I make sure I make time for are follow-ups. And I know Haz had talked about this earlier. I don't know if it was last week or earlier this week, about follow-ups and how important that is. He is so right when he talks about that, the fortunes and the follow-up. And statistically speaking, your audience needs 8 to 20 impressions about your product before they're ready to make a buying decision. The typical network marketer will quit between the 3rd and the 4th impression, whether it be a post you make or a reach out you do or something like that. So Follow-ups are really important. I have this crazy way that I organize my lists. And like I said, another day, another lesson, but I spend 30 minutes in my planner that keeps my follow-up people. So follow-ups, I have lists of current customers. I have lists of samplers who bought trials from me. I have lists of people that have done challenges with us, people I want to follow up with. And I spend 30 minutes a day in there. And I just keep it super simple. I set a timer, I do 30 minutes, and then boom, I'm done. I'm on to the next task. The next thing that I recommend is engagement. You need to engage with others and you need to engage in your own page. It is so important. Social media is about being social on social media. So it is really important for your algorithm when you make posts that you love and reply to every comment. Even if it's some creepy guy from the Middle East, I will still love and drop a non-suggestive emoji, but I still do it. And it's so important for your algorithm that you keep engagement going on your page. And it's also really important that you engage with others off of your page. So when I do reach outs, I think I have my list here. I can even show it to you. I literally print my Facebook list. I print it front and back. Okay. I will go to their page. I will love and comment on something on their page, and then I will send them a message. So I'm engaging with others. One, it's good for your algorithm. And two, people just don't do this anymore, guys. Most people on social media are scrollers. So people just don't talk to one another anymore. So when you do, guess what happens? When you go to Sally's page and engage with her page, she all of a sudden goes, oh my gosh, I wonder what Jennifer's doing. She's going to go to my page and she's going to see what I'm doing. And you got to make sure your social media is on point, because it's just going to drive people to your page when you do that. So engage with others and engage with myself, my posts. And when I engage with others, it's part of my reach outs, and I will spend 5 minutes before and after each time I post engaging with my own posts. So I think that's really important. Another thing on my DMO list, I know I'm going like a million miles a minute, I'm sorry. Another thing on my DMO list that I think is a great pro tip is check out your Facebook memories. I have gotten so much great content from Facebook memories. And trust me when I tell you, if you make the same post you made a year ago today, nobody's going to remember that you made that post a year ago today, but it's a great way to leverage the content you've already created. And I guarantee, even if you weren't in network marketing or weren't in this business a year ago, you still made some pretty cool posts that got lots of engagement. So it's a great idea to it doesn't take very long, 5 minutes to go through your Facebook memories of what you posted a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago today, and grab some of that content you've already created and repurpose it. So that's something I always do every day. The next thing is posting. And there are so many opinions on this out there. I will tell you what works for me. Ultimately, you got to figure out what works for you and what you're comfortable with doing. But posting, I highly recommend posting 3 times a day, and every 4th post be about your product or your opportunity. Your network is not going to care if you're promoting a product or an opportunity, as long as that's not all they see. They see you because they want to see the kids. They want to see what you're cooking for dinner. They want to see you doing laundry. That's why your network follows you. They're not going to care if you're posting about your product or opportunity, as long as you post about other things. And so many new network marketers, and trust me, I did the same when I started. So many new network marketers come into this business and they're so excited and they find all these cute graphics all over Pinterest and they just like spam all over the place. It's like Thrive Vomit, which, you know, we get it. You're excited, but let me tell you, you'll burn out your network really fast. So my benchmark that works perfect for me is 3 times a day, every 4th post be about your product or your opportunity. And I like to actually alternate those because I want both. I want customers and promoters. So I like to make a good presence of opportunity posts and product posts. So the next thing, I think if somebody were to ask me what was the one thing somebody could have told you at the very beginning that would have changed your journey, it would have been this. you have to add to your network every day. And that's the one thing when I got started, if somebody would have said to me, Jennifer, if you do nothing, but just these couple of things like posting and stuff like that, but you got to add to your network every day. And I learned this from Ray Higdon. We shot our organization. I joined February 2017. Okay. November of 2017, we shot to the top of the company super fast. I hit 200K in like 10 months. Right. Well, we did a terrible backslide, a terrible backslide. And, you know, I've since learned things like the leadership gap and, but I had hired Ray Higdon as a personal coach, and I'm like, he's like, why are you here? And I'm like, I just can't get my footing. Like we're doing this backslide. I don't know what's going on. And he explained to me the biggest thing is adding to your network. And how he explained it to me was it was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe nobody told me this. But here it goes. Your network, there's 2% of your network that's willing to buy from you right now. No matter what you sell, you could be selling toilet paper to a camel. They're willing to buy from you. The other 80% of your network, clearly it takes 8 to 20 impressions about your product. So what happens to typical network marketers is they blow through that 2% of their network. They see success, they hit a brick wall, they backslide, then they quit and join another company. Everybody has seen this happen. I'm sure you have. Then what happens is they blow through that 2% that's willing to buy from them, no matter what they're selling. They see success. They blame the other company. They blame the other upline. They blame. They hit a back wall. They backslide. They quit. They join another company. It's like a vicious cycle. He said, if you consistently add to your network and add new eyeballs to your stuff, you'll never you'll never hit that brick wall. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was like the ticket right there. So I'm a big believer in you've got to be adding to your network every day. You've got to be bringing on those new eyeballs that are excited to see what your life is all about and excited to see your stuff. I will also tell you probably 80% of the customers I've enrolled in this year has been new people who get on my page and they're like, tell me about this silly sticker you're posting about. Like, I need to know what's going on. I need to know all the things. So it's really, really, really important. And I just make it a point of 10 new people, I add 10 people to my network every day. And it takes me 10 minutes, guys. It does not take long to do this kind of stuff. And then start conversations with those from there. So 10 new people a day. And then the last thing, and I know I'm quickly running out of time, but the last thing I make it a point to is say happy birthday. I wish happy birthday to everybody on my list because it's a great conversation starter. 2, it's a great way to gauge who you're going to eliminate because you need to be eliminating just as many people as you're adding because otherwise you're going to max out. And happy birthday is a really great, if they're not going to come back and say thank you, I don't think those are my humans. So it's a great way to gauge whether they're even interested in getting to know you or not. So yeah, so there's my DMO list. And even with my hour and a half of reach outs every day, I still can get this done in 4 hours. And I have earned, I hit the millionaire level last year. You do not need to work 12, 15 hours a day to get where you want to go in this business. You just need a good list of DMOs, good purpose, and good focus in your day, and you can get it all done. So there's what I have for you today.
Y'all, I hope you were taking notes fast. So I'm going to review this just in case. Let me know if I missed anything, okay? Everybody ready? So first of all, DMO stands for Daily Method of Operation. I love that. That's a good way to say that. Self-development, gratitude, read a book. Oh my God, I can never do that, but I'm going to try. Reach outs, 120 today, man. I was just proud of myself for getting 30. Follow-ups, engagement. As she said in that's a lot about what many of you will hear us talk about, custom conscious comments. It's exactly what that is. Using your Facebook memories, posting 3 times a day, the 4th one either being about your product or your opportunity, adding to your network. That's a big one. Doing your happy birthdays, making sure you're starting conversations with all those people you added to your network. Did I miss any?
Just the opportunity story and the product on the story.
Yeah, you were talking about, yeah. That was like an unfold kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, but I didn't write it down. Okay, did y'all all get that? I love it. I love it. Guys, and now I know some of you are probably like, 4 hours a day. Okay, first of all, think of how many hours a day you work at a full-time job. She says 4 hours a day. That still ain't a full-time job. That's a part-time job, but it's not a sum of the time job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, literally, and many of us, Natasha and I, we go by this sheet. We go by the calendar challenge sheet. It's all a checklist. You got to do this stuff every day. Oftentimes, Jennifer, people will be like, I'm doing all the work, but I'm still not getting the customers. And I'm with you. I don't want to hear the can't word at all. It's driving me crazy. But when I check, how many reach outs do you do? Oh, no, I'm nervous about that. Well, how many people you add into your network? Oh, I'm crazy about that. There's always one thing missing that keeps them from hitting. And you got to do it all. But you have to do it all. You don't get to pick and choose. But Ray Higdon's thing, that was a great way of looking at that. I've never really thought about that, but that is a great way of looking at that. It's so very true.
Yep.
Very, very true. Natasha, you want to add anything?
Yeah, that was incredible. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Jennifer. We do have a question that came up a few times. So I want you definitely to cover this is how do you identify the new people to add to your network? Like where are you finding them and how do you identify them?
So there are so many ways, but I'll just tell you what I personally do. I mean, you can go into groups, you can do all kinds of things, but the two places I get those people are one, the people you may know. And I learned a long time ago, and I'm not sure if this still holds true, but it seems to work really well for me. Is the people you may know, how Facebook comes up with that list is that those are people that have checked out your page already. Somehow they found your page, they've been looking, and it can't be that they stumbled on your page. There was some sort of formula, and I don't really remember the exact numbers, but it was like that they've been on your page like 3 times and spent 3 minutes each time or something silly like that. But how to find that is if you go to and I work everything from my phone. If you go to your friends list in Facebook, there'll be a button that says suggestions, and that's those people. I will find my accept rate is really high with that place. Now, sometimes you just get into that list, and remember, I have 10 minutes. So if you just get into that list and you're like, I got nothing here, I usually find one person. So I have gotten really good at narrowing down my, and again, this is another lesson, another day, narrowing down my network. I used to think that, don't have to do that because everybody needs Thrive, right? But I had hired a mindset coach earlier this year that helped me understand that, yes, although everybody needs Thrive, not everybody's going to relate to my message about Thrive. So my ideal network are other moms of children about the same age as me. So I look for someone that's a mom that's got children around the same age as I have. She's not in network marketing and her friends list is public. And I'll literally go through that and I'll look for those people that fit that niche person I'm looking for, and I will friend request there too. So those are the two main places I go to look for friends, but there's so many. I mean, and then there's Instagram. We didn't even talk about Instagram. Facebook is my main place because I just feel like there's 8 billion people on Facebook and I can't talk to all of them. So that's where I focus. I don't focus on Instagram. It's kind of like an afterthought, unfortunately, but that's where I go to find friends at this point. And like I said, the best accept rate has been through that suggestions, the people you may know.
That's awesome. That's good advice. I didn't even know that. This is why we have these, so we can all learn something new, right?
Yeah.
Well, absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I mean, we love it when people share so much information with us. And again, thanks to all the leaders who did it this last 2 weeks and poured into all of you guys. And feel free to give them a shout out. Thanks so much. All right, everybody, get to work. It's Follow-Up Friday. It's Flex Friday. Make sure you're posting something about one of those. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks, Jennifer.